Hi, my name is Natalia Ekperk. I am the Community Development Associate at ASBN. I attended the July Small Business, Social Enterprise, and Local Economy Steering Committee and would like to provide a short update while David is away. As a reminder, the committee focuses on building a collective voice and power to advance campaigns and public policy efforts at the local, state, and national level in support of small businesses, social enterprises, and local economies. Together, the partners shape the overall goals, key priorities, and strategies they want to pursue. During the July meetings, Camilla Taylor, ASBN's executive director, presented on the Small Business Bill of Rights initiative. Dan Sweeney presented on Manufacturing Renaissance Industrial Retention Network and his work with manufacturing companies and succession planning. And Chris Miller on the SEC's efforts. Next meeting is taking place on August 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we'll dive deeper into inclusive economy efforts, specifically as it relates to present attacks on all diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. We look forward to seeing you then.
As we think about the amazing work we're doing at ASBN when it comes to our Indigenous initiatives, we're doing a lot of things. However, there's two main things that I would like to bring to your attention. First, we're excited to announce that we are one of the newest grant awardees of the 2025 SBAN case studies, which specifically focus on strategies to combat climate gentrification and prevent small business displacement. When we talk about our case study in particular, we will explore the systems, strategies, and cultural foundations that tribal nations are using to address climate change and prevent the displacement of Indigenous small businesses. Outside of that, we're also excited to announce that in our race towards the 147 with our partnership with Silver Linings and the SLAP program, we'll be hosting an event on September 4th virtually from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The title of the program will be Beyond the Bottom Line, Supporting Tribal Small Businesses Through SLAP. We're very excited to work with our partners and find new opportunities for small Indigenous-led businesses to not only elevate the voices that they have, but also continue to build better business behavior in the work that they do. That's it for this month's wrap up. Look forward to sharing more with you all in the future.
Hi, everyone. I'm Liza Lamana. I'm the Manager of Agriculture and Water Policy here at ASBN. Here's your quick update on what we've been working on this month across our regenerative agriculture and clean water campaigns. Our Regenerative Agriculture and Justice Steering Committee met recently to discuss how the reconciliation process is likely to impact the Farm Bill. House Agriculture Committee Chairman G.T. Thomas is still aiming to move the Farm Bill this fall, but whether it will actually be prioritized remains unclear, especially given the current dynamics between the Republican caucus and the administration, as well as growing frustrations among the Democrats about the reconciliation process, which shifted funding from key Farm Bill provisions. This means we could be looking at a much smaller version of the Farm Bill that Republicans are calling a skinny Farm Bill, if we get one at all. Our group discussed advocacy strategies around areas that we could see meaningful impact. Leaning on these strategies will be more important with a potential vote in September and as we continue to advocate around it. We'll be digging deeper into these issues in our upcoming two-part policy forum series on the Farm Bill. The first session, The Farm Bill Explained, Foundations, Framework, and Why It Matters, is happening on August 27th. Then on September 10th, we'll host Leveraging the Farm Bill, Crop Insurance, Conservation, and Diversified Agriculture, digging deeper into some of those specific areas where we see potential for meaningful change. We'd love to see you there. And if you want to help shape how ASBN shows up on the Farm Bill or within our USDA advocacy work, join our next steering committee on August 14th. Or if you're looking to learn more and connect with our members working in the ag space, hop on our agriculture policy brief call on August 26th. Lastly, through our Clean Water is Good for Business campaign, we've been closely tracking the latest threats to the Clean Water Act coming from this administration. In Congress, we continue to oppose the Permit Act, an effort that would gut core provisions by weakening federal oversight and shifting the burden of pollution onto communities and small businesses. Thank you to everyone who signed on to our congressional letter. Your voice truly matters. If you haven't yet, there's still time. Congress decided to push off the vote, and we'll be keeping the sign-on open through the end of September when they get back around to it. Meanwhile, the EPA is moving forward with its review of Section 401 of the Clean Water Act. This provision empowers states and tribal nations to evaluate and place conditions on federal projects that could harm local waterways. Rolling it back would silence local experts and give the federal government unchecked authority to greenlight potentially destructive projects. We're submitting a public comment opposing this rule, and we'd love your signature of support. But more powerful is submitting your own. We know the EPA is specifically looking for business perspectives, so we've created a comment draft for you to use. You can customize it to include your own story or leave it as is. As of August 1st, about 2:18 p.m., only 52 comments have been filed. Many of them support the rollback, but I know that our network can outnumber the voices of big polluters, and let's make sure they hear from us. If you'd like to help us shape how we create our clean water campaign, our steering committee will be meeting on the 11th to discuss what's next to come out of the EPA or Congress. That's it for now from me. More to come soon, and I look forward to seeing you online.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abby Maxwell.
And I'm Mike Green, and this is our monthly climate and energy policy update.
On Friday, July 18th, the EPA announced a massive reduction in force that will essentially dismantle the Office of Research and Development. This office is known as ORD, and that is part of a plan to cut 23% of EPA agency staff. This follows a Supreme Court decision that paves the way for this administration's reductions in force that were previously questioned in the courts. This is alarming because the primary role of ORD is to analyze the dangers posed by a variety of hazards. This includes toxic chemicals, climate change, smog, wildfires, and a whole host of other things that are regulated by the EPA. This is where the scientists are housed primarily. This reduction in force eliminates thousands of positions and is a part of the broader attack on science that is happening across agencies, but is specifically being seen this week at the EPA. This further is evidenced by the recent attacks on the endangerment finding. Zeldin has said publicly that he wants to undo this finding that key greenhouse gases, 6 of them, endanger human health and welfare. This is what sets the basis for the EPA to regulate greenhouse gas emissions, and this followed the Massachusetts versus EPA Supreme Court case in 2007. Zeldin has confirmed that he will announce this repeal today, as we are recording this, July 29th, this afternoon. Stay tuned for more updates from us on this, how we're planning to engage. But for now, it's just important to recognize that the science is super important, and we are here to make that fact known. Over to Mike for our upcoming engagement opportunities.
Thanks, Abby. And yeah, it's really unfortunate to see those continued cuts. And it's also not just our science and our ability to enforce various standards as a federal government, but also people's jobs, people's commitment to this cause. The EPA is some of the leading scientists in the world on these issues. So it's a really not just a cut for these issues, but also for the global scientific community and for people at the individual level as well. So we do have a couple of upcoming engagement opportunities. As these attacks on the EPA keep coming, we're urging all of our members and supporters to use the ASPN template to submit comments for the clean air standards that are set to be repealed by the deadline of August 7th. As well as, we're hoping folks can come to our next policy brief. We're going to skip August as we traditionally do. So we're going to do that in September. September and our run up into the fall is going to be really important. We're going to be focusing on our conferences, on Climate Week, and some opportunities to engage with us there. Getting a delegation ready for COP, and really trying to show ways the U.S. private sector can stand in and fill that leadership role, that leadership gap that's being left by the administration. Also, we can help shape the narrative going into some pretty major midterm elections in 2026. So a lot of stuff that is going to be getting ramped up here in the fall, and we look forward to engaging with all of you then.
Hello, I'm Martin Wolf, advisor to the American Sustainable Business Network on safer chemicals and circular economy. This month, the Safer Chemicals and Circular Economy Working Group continued its work on the US EPA Safer Choice Program. Having submitted a letter to both the administration and to Congress, signed by over 300 companies, to continue the Safer Choice Program within the EPA, ASBN was pleased to learn that plans to privatize the program have been put in abeyance. However, the program was significantly reduced in scale, with several senior members leaving the program and others being reassigned to the new chemicals program of the US EPA. Please support the US EPA Safer Choice program by writing your representatives and senators and asking them to make sure funds are appropriated specifically for the US EPA Safer Choice program. This month, the Safer Chemicals and Circular Economy Working Group also worked with the Institute for Preventative Health, a newly formed organization that is working to eliminate subsidies to the fossil fuel chemicals industry, thereby reducing incentives to produce toxic petroleum-based chemicals. Work is being spearheaded by the Texas Campaign for the Environment. Clean Production Action, another member of our work group, maintains the Green Screen program, which will be updating this year to include climate change indicators. In addition, the program is being updated to include and improve updates to its toxicology or toxicological endpoints. The new criteria are expected to be available for public comment in the fourth quarter of this year. In state updates, New York has passed a bill restricting PFAS and certain toxic chemicals in menstrual products. The bill is awaiting the governor's signature. New York also passed a bill approving a trial program to bring houses up to a minimum standard so they could qualify for additional grants to improve their energy efficiency. In California, 3 bills to promote safer chemicals and circular economy are advancing in the state legislature. AB 823 would ban microplastic beads in cleaning products and also ban microplastic glitter in leave-on cosmetics. SB 682 would ban PFAS in cleaning products, cookware, ski wax, children's products, dental floss, and food packaging. And AB 916 would ban antimicrobials in hand soaps and body washes. Antimicrobial ingredients in hand soaps present environmental and human health hazards, but show no benefit over plain soap in reducing disease prevention. If you do business in California, please write letters in support of these bills. A webinar entitled Plastics, Promise, Problems, and Possibilities will be hosted by ASBN on September 24th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. If you wish more information on this webinar or on any of the other topics discussed today, or if you wish to join the Safer Chemicals and Circular Economy Work Group, please contact A. Maxwell at asbnetwork.org. Thank you.